Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He has not one, but two CIF Southern Section Division 1 championships from the finals this past Saturday. It is thrower from Yucaipa, Ben Lingenfelter. And Ben, congratulations, the discus champion, the shot put champion. You dominated the throws out there at the Division 1 finals. Going into it, I saw you at actually the CBL finals. I know you were probably locked in. You didn't see me, but I saw you. How did you feel going into the D1 meet? Did you feel like you were going to put up some pretty big numbers?
Yeah, definitely. Training has definitely been very good in recent times. The discus has been feeling especially good. I had kind of a slump there, so worried myself, worried my coaches a little bit with some big fouls. But I think keeping those in the ring and able to save them were a huge success on Saturday. It helped me win the title.
All right, specifically with the discus, 200 feet. I'm assuming that's a Yucaipa high school record as well as a D1 meet record?
Yes.
So do you have the school record for the shot put as well?
I do, yes.
You have both. And did you do those both this season?
No, I think I actually broke the discus one last year. I think I got the shot one this year.
Okay.
And
were those important to you? Like, did you, obviously there's probably somewhere in Yucaipa where they have a board with all the, the record holders and names and stuff.
Yeah, it was definitely a goal of mine to come out on top. And I really wanted to put those numbers in a place where it would stand for a while. Records are meant to be broken, and I definitely hope that someone eventually comes along and breaks them. But it'd be kind of fun to see my name up there for a little while.
Yeah, for a little bit, you earned it. Keep your name up there for a little bit. Now, Ben, you talked about fouling and just you maybe had a little bit of a slump, and you kind of rebounded and battled back and had a really great, obviously, Division 1 finals. Would you say, and I'm only saying this because I heard you were a swimmer. So do you feel like you're still kind of a novice at throwing? Do you feel like there's still so much to learn and, techniques to get, fine-tuned? Do you feel like you're still kind of growing in the sport?
Yeah, definitely. I was a swimmer for 9 years, and I think that I've only been throwing for 4 or 5. So half the time, half the knowledge with all the technique. I actually did a complete overhaul of my discus technique this past year because I got into contact with some other coaches, as well as discussing it with my own coaches. And it was kind of like, hey, we're doing a few things incorrectly here, and we're going to try to address this. And I think it's really helps, but it definitely comes with a learning curve.
Now, I don't know what your swim times were or what events you swam in, but I'm assuming track and field, throwing events, you probably made the right choice, right? To focus on the shot put in the discus as opposed to maybe the 50 freestyle or whatever you did in the pool.
Yeah, I actually did. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually did do the 50 freestyle. Yeah, but I definitely throwing, I think, was the right choice. I got recruited a little bit more by colleges in throwing. That was kind of the main decider. Was I talked to both my swim coach and my track coach. And I'm like, hey, whatever sport I get more like a better offer in, I'm going to go and take that sport in college. So I kind of left it up to chance. And I think it kind of spoke that, hey, track is the correct decision here.
How has the recruiting been? I mean, maybe especially the last couple of weeks, doing so well. And I'm sure the next couple of weeks are going to be big for you at Masters and State. But, recruiting and offers and interest, does it feel like it's picking up?
Yeah. So I actually signed with UCLA in the fall.
There it is.
So there's still a few coming in, and I feel bad kind of having to say like, hey, I'm already signed. But yeah, that recruiting process was very fun, and I'm super excited to go to UCLA next year. So
the Bruins didn't have to see your senior year. They're like, we know what we got. He's already our guy. So
yeah. I guess so.
Did that, in a way, I talked to some football guys too, whatever the sport, it's like when you sign, it's a done deal. But when you get that verbal commitment as well, I guess there's some degree of that assurance that I don't have to stress my senior year in high school. I can just go out there, in your case, throw and have fun. I don't have to worry about, are there college scouts here? I got to have a big number. No one's going to offer me. Did you feel like going into your senior season for that fact that, hey, just going to let it all hang out. I'm just going to have fun. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to UCLA. I've already got the scholarship. I'm just going to go out there and have some fun and see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a part to that. My coach definitely advised me to sign early in the process, especially since I loved UCLA and everything they had to offer. I think that I wanted to maybe delay it a little bit because I wanted to see if I could get a little bit more of a scholarship, just being a little greedy myself, I guess. But it definitely helps calm the nerves a little bit with not having to worry about, oh, am I hitting this mark in order to get this incentive?
Yeah.
And it's just a huge pressure off my back, and I think I'm able to perform much better.
All right, so you got CIF Southern Section Masters coming up on Saturday, where all the divisions get together. You're already putting up huge numbers, but do you have any like individual goals for yourself? I don't know if there's certain numbers you want to hit. I mean, I just talked to another guy who was just like, I just want to advance, get to state, and then I'm just going to go big at state. But so what's kind of your approach then going into Masters?
Yeah, so definitely the approach is to qualify first and foremost. State is the big dance. Mm-hmm. And that's where I'd much rather win a state title than a Masters title. If I had to choose one over the other, I'm going to choose the state title. But I'd love to win. I'd love to win Masters if at all possible. I know the Masters meet record is, I think, 201 in the discus. So I'm really close to that, working on some new stuff and practice and hopefully trying to get there.
So, with the Masters meet and all the divisions come together, I don't have all the numbers in front of me, but you're Division 1, obviously. So you would just assume maybe the marks and the times, whatever, for the track and field are maybe probably a little bit better than Division 2, 3 or 4. But when you look at the competition, did you have the best marks overall coming out of the division finals from this last weekend?
So I did in the discus, but not in the shot put. I had a pretty good meet, but there was a guy in Division 2 named Omar. I love the guy. He's a great competitor. He had a very good day that we all knew he was capable of. He's done it in the past. So he's ranked first, and I'm pretty sure I'm ranked second. And then my friend Drew is right behind me. So it's pretty tight in the shot put.
Does that make it fun though? Like, you've got friends who are like pushing you. You guys are probably all pushing each other to go out there and just have some incredible throw, to be your best.
Oh, definitely. You throw much farther in an atmosphere where you're having fun and you're loose and there's just big energy. I remember earlier in the year, there was a meet where all of us kind of got together before the big CIF run. And the atmosphere was just so lively and everyone was throwing personal bests and everyone was supporting each other. And it feels like it's going to be the same thing this Saturday. And I'm super excited for it.
That's awesome. Ben, let me ask you about just your approach before you actually start your event. And, I don't know if you're a guy that likes to listen to music, if you're a guy that's like, don't bother me, leave me alone, I want to be quiet and just me and my thoughts, and I'm going to go over my steps or whatever it is. How do you get in that right mind space so you can have, be your most successful? What's kind of your approach? If you eat a certain food, if you talk to a certain person, if you avoid everyone, or if you like to joke around, like, what is your approach?
Yeah, so I definitely think that I have a routine. It's kind of funny. A lot of people would call it unorthodox. I always bring a book with me and read whenever I'm there because you're not allowed to have your phone while you're competing. And I like to stay calm and stay relaxed. So I like to read. I love to joke around with my friends because we're all friends in the throwing world. It's not a very big sport, so you get to know each other very well and you get to become very closely, like very tight knit. And you mentioned food. I eat probably about 10 oranges on competition day. It's ridiculous, but it works. It's good sugar. Gets the job done, I guess.
Man, 10 oranges and reading a book was not what I thought you were going to say right now. I thought you were going to say like, oh, I listen to like AC/DC and I jump around and, but all right. Hey, whatever it takes, right? So Ben, if you're a book reader, I'm assuming you got pretty good grades, right?
Yeah. I like to consider myself a pretty good person in school. I'm graduating in the top 40 of my class this year, so I'm really, really stoked about that. And it helped me get into UCLA. So
Yeah.
I guess it paid off in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Ben, listen, congratulations on the 2 CIF Southern Section Division 1 championships. Best of luck at Masters and, of course, state after that. And hopefully you can bring home a couple more titles before it's all said and done.
All right. Thank you.
You got it. That is Ben Lingenfelter from Yucaipa High School here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports.